this one, it kind of came up a little bit just now, so that's why I want to ask it. Are any of you building your businesses to complement your lifestyle versus what is the business going to be, and how do I fit my life around that?
Well, I built the Hoboken daycares because I needed daycares. Why did we build two? Well, so we started with one, and then when we were in town, one of the brokers, because as you get a little bit bigger, they start to know who you are. They're like, hey, there's another location, used to be daycare, you know, the owner sold it, and then the new daycare closed it because they didn't need it strategically. And he's like, daycares in Hoboken never close, so you want it? And I was like, okay, that sounds like a great, you know, move, because we went downtown, went uptown. So yeah, so it kind of fit my lifestyle. But then for the future, I don't know where it goes. I mean, we're building one in Harrison, New Jersey, just because it's a great location. And we'll see where the future holds. So I kind of built it around myself.
Yeah.
I started my company because I was pregnant and I could not find a maternity legging that stayed up. Honestly, and I was like, how can this be? I don't understand. So I made it. And honestly just grew very organically from there because I was bored out of my mind and wearing terrible quality leggings.
Where I needed bread. So I'm not, as I told you, I'm not the one making it. I've learned how to make it, but I'm not the one making it. One of the things I've learned into developing a business is to find the right people to do the right thing, because usually you can't do everything yourself, and there are people who are much better at something than you are. Much better. You gotta recognize that and pay them for what they are good at. More efficient, more focused, you know, like, wow. And no, it did not fit my lifestyle to be. I'm not someone who has an idea of where I want to be and how to get there. Absolutely not. I'm very opportunistic, and I just wanted, that big challenge was to open a bakery and make it function and be a little bit profitable by just not cutting corners, having the right quality with the right ingredient. That was my goal.
It's a big goal.
It's a big goal, exactly.
Don't discount that.
Yeah.
God,
It's a big goal.
Be successful with
But
one.
it's true, I did not project it to become what it is. It's more like it happened. It happened, and I guess I'm fit for it. So that's why I grew with it. But it was never a plan like that. A lack of a plan, actually.
I wanted to practice law, and I wanted to do it my way. And there was nowhere to do it the way I wanted to do it. So I was like, I'll just start my own. And so it's more to fit me personally and my lifestyle, because if anybody knows any practicing lawyers, life at a law firm is different. And I probably work more now than I did when I worked at that huge New York law firm, but it's on my terms. It's when I want to work. And so that means something to me. Unless a client calls and is like, I need this in 45 minutes, and then it's not quite on my terms, but I do it. Like that happened today.
Right before you came.
It was right before I had to pick up one of my kids from school.
Any other questions? I'll ask a couple more. Okay. Do you use advisors to help you with your business? And if so, what type of advisors?
Yes.
Emily's shaking.
My lawyer, my accountant, and my two mentors. One of them is the head of Barclays, so he comes from a different standpoint, but financial, which I can't wrap my head around, so I have to pick his brain. And then another one is she started a lifestyle babies company and then grew it to like 90 million. So I was like, how did you do that? She started it the same way I started my company, so I'm like, she's literally been through every step of the way. So, and so yeah, 4.
Where did you find those mentors?
One of them I met through, I'm a Korean adoptee.
Hi.
So I met them because he had adopted 2 children from Korea, and he was just in the group, and I was a mentor. So just randomly met him through that. And then his best friend was Reagan, who owns that company. So it was just through a networking like this.
Mm-hmm.
So important.
Yes, networking is so important.
So important.
So legal and full disclosure, I now use Jamie. I actually told her you are the person I've been looking for because in the Cresthill is now established in 2011, so 7 years old. So we've used different lawyers for lease negotiation, things like that, and a lot of them tend to be men, and the communication is not the same. They talk over you. All the things are true. And I'm like, I've been paying you a lot of money by the hour, so you need to listen to me. So Jamie, your great legal team, our accountant does a lot of things. My husband is actually very supportive. He brings a lot of the tech component that I can't figure out to save my life. I'm like, my computer's not turning on, take it. So he's pretty helpful. And lastly, I would say mentor as well. I was lucky because I kind of fell into early education. I taught, and I was like, I could do better, right? We could do better for these children. That's where the disrupting comes in. And then I was like, okay, so we opened Lyndhurst, and then my husband's stepsister's husband's aunt. She is the CEO of EduKids in Buffalo, New York. She has some 15, 16 centers, and they're all huge, 80, 100 children plus centers. She is the CEO of EduKids. She founded the organization probably 20 years ago when she couldn't find appropriate daycare for her youngest child. And so Barbara, my husband's stepsister, was like, oh, Tom's aunt is in childcare. And she had no idea how big she was. They're not that close. And she's like, let me introduce you to Nancy. I spoke to Nancy, and she really took me under her wing. She helped us, get out of prevent a lot of pitfalls that I otherwise wouldn't have seen. I'm actually going to fly up and visit her Thursday with my whole family in tow, because she's become she's family, not blood related, but she's family. I talk to her more probably than I talk to my actual aunt.
So Jamie, any mentors or
I had mentors.
advisors?
I had mentors in my earlier professional life, and I guess the change of the industry made it a little bit difficult. I always went freely to ask advice and question. Can you explain me how you do this and that? I mean, I was going into a field I had no clue about, so I was like, I had to ask questions, and then I've learned to not take all advice, and choose which one I wanted. I talked a lot with very experienced professional pastry chef, and in France you belong to that field. If you've done your years, you've worked and everything, you cannot just improvise and say, hey, I'm a bakery owner. It doesn't work like that. So I'm not part of that world, right? So they are many men, and they like to be a bit sometimes condescending about, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're doing, and you're not going to succeed, and you should not make your croissant and your chocolate croissant chocopain yourself, you should buy them, and so on and so on. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. And I just did the opposite. I mean, it's a choice, and it had a financial impact for sure, but it's my choice and my vision of how I want to run my business. So advisors are good, but sometimes you also need to decide what to keep, but not to. And I want to talk to Jamie after.
We're in a weird spot with, there's no lawyers, any lawyer that I've ever, so I had a mentor that was a lawyer who is wonderful, and I can talk to him about legal issues, but he is an old man who doesn't know, and I love him, and he gave me some of my experiences that I never would have gotten as a young female lawyer in New York, and he just gave me so much responsibility, and I am the lawyer that I am a lot because of him, but he literally does not understand what I do. And so I have the challenge is there are very few lawyers that are specialized in what I specialize in, and so there's not any lawyers that really speak that language. Any lawyer that does is just trying to copy, which is a struggle. And so as much as I would love to collaborate, they're not collaborative, which drives me crazy because I think there's room for everybody, and I will help and collaborate with anybody, even if you're my competitor, because there's room for all of us. And so I have not had that experience with some of the women that are in that industry. But what I have found is, because I am a service professional, and Jacqueline is one of them, I found some amazing other female service professionals who I can bounce ideas off of or talk to, who may be either in the same place as me or a little bit ahead of me, or even sometimes a little bit behind what I'm doing, but just sort of having an understanding, because service and product are just different. I thankfully understand product businesses just because I'm a lawyer for a lot of them, and so I have an understanding, but to really run a service-based business, so I've sort of had to reach out and find people in the space. So I would love a mentor of some kind, but the lawyers, even my husband literally has no clue what I do. He barely understands it. And he's a lawyer, so that's a little bit of a challenge.
You will be a mentor for
That's what
the
I'm
women
trying.
coming up behind you.
Yes, so I'll do that.
And for us here, even though we're not lawyers. Other questions?
I just want to add on really quick to what Jamie said, since this was finding mom entrepreneurs and business owners has been, for what she was saying about mom and being a balance, like there was never that role model of like you were either a mom and a full-time mom, or you were a working mom and your kids were latchkey, and like how do you find that as an entrepreneur? So I think even within this group, finding other business owners that are challenged with the same things that we're a group, and that's why Jamie and I, and we have a group of women that we're a part of. Those challenges of like business challenges and mom challenges, and it all comes together, and it's okay. And everyone and telling each other it's okay makes it okay, because your husbands can't even tell you that. They have no idea.
It's true.
No idea.
It's very true.